My boyfriend gives me $200,000 a month. I'm a good girlfriend every day. I never look at his phone, never ask where he's been. If I occasionally bump into him shopping with other girls, I get more nervous than he does and duck my head, running away as fast as I can, terrified of messing things up for him. One day, about 6 months into our relationship, we were using his phone to stream a movie, and a message suddenly popped up on his WhatsApp: "I'm pregnant." After an awkward moment of eye contact, I hesitantly said, "So, should I go help the new mom out during her postpartum month?" That evening, I just unlocked a shared bike, feeling completely over it and about to head to tutor some bratty kid, when a voice called out to me. "Hey, you on the bike?" I paused, surprised, and turned around. "Me? Yeah, you. Come here." Totally confused, I walked over. The guy held out a debit card. "Be my girlfriend. I'll give you $200,000 a month. Yes or no?" "Huh?" The guy, looking annoyed, repeated himself. "Be my girlfriend, I'll give you $200,000 a month. Last chance, yes or no?" To me, it sounded like $200,000 for free. I snatched the debit card. "Babe. Good girl." The guy nodded, satisfied, and casually slung an arm around my shoulder, looking disdainfully at someone across from us. "See that? $200,000 is nothing to me. But I'd rather give it to a dog than to you. You're not worthy." I didn't even flinch when I heard that. He already gave me $200,000, so what if he calls me a little dog? Who are you trying to fool with a cheap-looking debit card? Only then did I notice a girl standing opposite us, arms crossed, looking arrogant. This beauty had a face that looked like it was made of plastic surgery, a killer figure, and was dressed pretty skimpily. But I had no time to admire her. Alarm bells were going off in my head. What if there was no money on this card? Then I would have called him babe for nothing. The guy pulled out his phone. "You, open your payment QR code." I immediately whipped out my used iPhone, and as I opened the QR code, I didn't forget to shoot a grateful look at the beauty across from us. Now that's what I call girls helping girls. The guy took out his phone, tapped a few times, and I instantly got a notification. Note, voluntary gift. See? The guy waved his phone at the beauty. Her face turned an ugly shade of green, and she was speechless. "Remember, I dumped you." Satisfied, the guy put his phone away, turned, and strode off. After a few steps, he looked back. "What are you standing there looking stupid for? Hurry up and follow me." I quickly trotted after him. "Coming, babe." The guy walked all the way to the school gate and stopped beside a black Cayenne. He frowned and asked, "Where are you going?" "I'll give you a ride." I was about to give him the address for my tutoring gig, but then it hit me, I just made $200,000. I immediately changed my tune. "I'm going back to my dorm." "Alright, then I won't give you a ride. There's $400,000 on the card, plus the $200,000 I just transferred. For the next 3 months, you're my girlfriend. Any problems?" I clutched the debit card tightly and shook my head. "Nope." The guy then pulled up his friend QR code. "Add me." I quickly added him as a friend, even thoughtfully writing in the request, "It's your girlfriend." The guy accepted my friend request and put his phone away. "Okay, that's it for now. I'll message you on WhatsApp if I need anything. I'm off." I stood there, not snapping back to reality until the black card disappeared from sight. With my kind of luck, where I've never even won a try again on a drink bottle, could something this good actually be happening to me? I picked up my phone and checked the balance again. 200,803.02. For the first time, I felt like life was pretty damn good. Back in my dorm, I couldn't wait to quit my tutoring job. Then I started Googling fraud prevention. I searched and searched but couldn't find this type of scam. I went back, checked my balance again, looked at the debit card in my hand, and suddenly realized he hadn't told me the PIN. I opened my chat with the guy. His social media posts were only visible for 3 days, his profile picture was a black square, and his nickname was blank. Staring at that black square, I was stumped again. I didn't know the guy's name. After much thought, I brazenly messaged him, "Hey, boyfriend." Half an hour later, he finally replied. "What?" I replied instantly. The PIN for the debit card, I don't think you told me." Another half hour passed before he sent a string of numbers. 001223. Then, a 4-second voice message blasted through, filled with deafening music and loud chatter. "That's my birthday. Memorize it. I'll quiz you later." I typed out, "Memorize it? I'll etch it into my DNA." But then I thought better of it, deleted it, and replied, "Got it," along with a cute cat emoji I hadn't used in ages. He didn't reply after that, so I just went to the school's ATM in the dark, confirmed the 400,000 balance, and then went back to my dorm, satisfied. Took a shower, went to bed. In my dream, I was living in a luxury high-rise, neighbors with some billionaire. Just as I was gleefully listening to him spill some behind-the-scenes gossip about a famous celebrity, a piercing voice call jolted me back to reality. Eyes still closed, thoroughly annoyed, I answered, "Hello?" "You were already asleep?" I glanced at the clock. It was 3:50 a.m. I instinctively snapped back, "What do you think?" Snapping at me? I was instantly wide awake. "My sugar daddy." I softened my voice. "Sweetie, I wasn't snapping at you." Silence on the other end for a moment, then his voice, tinged with alcohol. "Why didn't you say goodnight to me before you went to bed?" Honestly, I've been single my whole life, so I'm not in the habit of reporting to someone before I go to sleep. But I couldn't say that outright, so I made an excuse. "I was going to, but I accidentally fell asleep." "You know you're my girlfriend, right?" "I know. From now on, I expect everything other boyfriends get, and even things they don't. Otherwise, don't even think about me renewing your contract." "Renewing? Is that a thing?" "I know, I'll be more careful in the future, but," I paused, feeling the need to clarify something up front. "Just so we're clear, I'm offering my company, not my body." He chuckled on the other end. "Don't worry, I'm a law-abiding citizen." I breathed a sigh of relief, very satisfied with this job. "Morning class tomorrow. When you come downstairs, I want to see you and breakfast. I'll send you my dorm number and phone number in a bit." "Okay, sweetie." Go to sleep." "Okay, I'm going to sleep then." "Good night, sweetie." The call ended. The next day, I got up super early, got myself all dolled up, bought breakfast, and waited in front of the guy's dorm. Watching the endless stream of guys, I encountered a new problem. I'm slightly face blind, and yesterday I was so focused on the debit card, my bank balance, the fancy car, and that surgically enhanced face that I couldn't quite remember what the guy from yesterday looked like. I only remembered he wore all black and had a diamond earring in his left ear. Clutching the breakfast, I carefully scanned every guy's ears, searching intently. 5 minutes later, a guy dressed all in black with a black earring in his left ear walked out of the dorm. I quickly plastered on my professional smile and went over. "Babe, good morning." The guy froze. The air around us went quiet for a moment, then the guys around him started hooting and teasing. Well, Harry, since when did you get a girlfriend? Isn't that one of our underclassmen? You actually managed to snag our department's ice queen?" "Harry? An upperclassman from my department? Sorry, my girlfriend isn't fully awake yet, she mistook you for someone else." A familiar voice sounded from behind me. A long arm lazily draped over my shoulder, and the guy leaned down slightly, his dark eyes glinting with a half-smile. "Your boyfriend is over here, girlfriend. I think I'm about to lose my job." After we'd walked a little way, he finally let go of me. He unhurriedly took out a cigarette and lit it, raising an eyebrow. "Do I look like him?" The guy stood with his back to the light. I barely reached his chest. His narrow eyes tilted up slightly, his nose was high and straight, and his jawline was sharp. He exhaled a puff of white smoke, exuding a dangerous yet captivating aura. As for the upperclassman, Harry, his build was similar, but his features were softer. The corners of his eyes drooped slightly, and his lips were moderately full, giving off a gentle and comfortable feeling, like a spring breeze. I shook my head earnestly. No. Then how could you mistake us? I was standing next to you for half an hour, and you ran off to call someone else babe? Half an hour? I didn't see you come down. I didn't stay in the dorm last night. I came back just for you. The guy sighed dramatically. Who knew I'd stand there for half an hour, and my girlfriend wouldn't even recognize me, and then call someone else babe right in front of me. Looks like I haven't spent enough money on you yet. You have. When I get back, I'll carve your face onto a cigarette and inhale it into my lungs. I'll never make that mistake again. The guy's lips curved into an interested smile. Aren't you supposed to be an ice queen? Why are you acting all cringy with me? I immediately made my position clear. As long as my babe likes it, I can be whatever you want. He casually put out his cigarette and threw it in the trash. I'll forgive you this once because of your good service attitude. Do you have class this morning? I finally relaxed. Thanks, boss. No class this morning. He glanced at me indifferently. Boss? My bad, babe. If you don't have class, come with me to my morning lecture. The guy put his arm around my shoulder and started walking towards the academic building. If you call someone else babe again, I'm docking your pay. Got it. I obediently followed him. For 200,000, I wouldn't just go to class with him, I'd go bungee jumping with him. The guy was a year older than me, from the computer science department next door. He pulled me in through the back and went straight to the last row, then started picking through the breakfast. I don't like this, you finish it. I like the soup dumplings, buy more next time. I casually pulled out the notebook from my bag, bit off the pen cap, and started scribbling furiously. Go on. The guy raised an eyebrow and leaned over to look at my notebook. Sugar Daddy's Preferences, Breakfast Edition. The guy paused, then burst out laughing. Why are you being so cute? Are you trying to make me laugh to death? Then he actually did choke, laughing and coughing like crazy. It took him a while to recover. I silently added a few more words, feed with caution, prone to choking. When the professor entered the classroom, the first thing he asked was, Is Harry here today? Here. The guy lazily raised his hand. So my dear boyfriend's name was Harry. Finally, seeing you in person. It's a rare sight. The professor shot him a look and started the lecture. Harry slumped over, trying to listen for a bit, then fell asleep. I was bored, so I decided to take notes for him. Whether I understood it or not, I just wrote it all down. I spent most of the class with my head down, taking notes. Harry finally woke up, bleary-eyed, and propped his chin on his hand, watching me write. When the bell rang, he asked me in a hoarse voice. Girlfriend, what's your name? Daisy. All right. He patted my head. Sit here and wait for me for a bit, I'm going for a smoke. As soon as Harry stepped out, a pair of slender, pale hands with extravagant nail art tapped on my desk. Hey. I looked up and saw my sister from yesterday with the surgically enhanced face. Hi, you're in the same department as Harry. The beauty didn't answer me, frowning as she asked, Are you really with Harry? Yeah. Her frown deepened. You don't even know him, and just because he gave you a few $100,000, you got with him? Yeah. Do you have any self-respect? You'd give up your dignity for money? I was baffled. Are you even listening to yourself? Am I supposed to give up money for dignity? The beauty got agitated. What kind of person are you? A hard-working employee, of course. I thought for a moment and added, Don't even think about trying to steal my job. Messing with someone's livelihood is like killing their parents. You better watch out, or I'll make your life miserable. Who wants to steal your job? Harry sauntered in through the back door. I immediately changed my demeanor, lowering my eyes pitifully. No one. Harry frowned and glanced at her. What do you want with my girlfriend? I tugged on Harry's sleeve, looking aggrieved. It's nothing, babe. Don't make things hard for the upperclassmen. Even though she said I have no dignity and no bottom line, she didn't mean it. Harry glared at the beauty. Jealous now? Too late. He then pulled me into his arms, stroking my head and comforting me softly. Daisy, sweetie, don't listen to her from now on. Babe will take you shopping for bags and clothes later to make it up to you. I couldn't help but want to look up and ask him, are you really buying them, or just saying? If you're really buying, can I get cash instead? But I didn't ask, because just as I was about to look up, Harry seemed to know what I was going to do and subtly pressed my head down. You guys are disgusting. The beauty cursed under her breath and stomped away in her high heels. Harry let go of me. All right, stop acting. You're quite the performer. Anything to vent the boss's anger. I sat down next to him proudly. Seeing the surgically enhanced girl's retreating figure in the distance, I couldn't help but gossip. Sweetie, how did she make you angry? Harry glanced at her back with annoyance. How else? She found some 30 or 40-year-old land developer and cheated on Maine. No way, you're so handsome and rich. Why would she go for some old guy in his 30s or 40s? She's blind. Harry leaned in, lowering his voice to complain to me. I'd never been in a relationship before. She followed me around for a year, so I figured, why not give it a shot? We dated for a month, and then she started telling me her birthday was coming up, constantly hinting that I should buy her a bag. That bag was only $20,000. I thought it was too cheap, so I didn't agree. I specially ordered a BMW for her. But on her birthday, she ghosted me. The next night, I saw her getting out of some old guy's car, saying that what I wasn't willing to give her, plenty of other people would. She even told me not to bother dating if I didn't have money, that I was wasting her time. I got mad when I heard that. Say anything else about me, fine, but say I don't have money? Oh, it dawned on me. So that's how I lucked out. Wasted my first love on her. I patted his shoulder solemnly. It's okay, you still have me. Your first love might have been a waste, but 200,000 definitely won't be. I'll give you the ultimate VIP dating experience. Harry glanced at me. You do a good job, keep me happy, and renewing for another year or so isn't a problem. As expected, capitalists are good at making empty promises. For several weeks, whenever I didn't have class, would go to Harry's classes with him, then rush back to my own department for my classes. But I hated Tuesdays the most. Because Harry had a class on the South Campus, while my afternoon class was on the main campus. The two campuses were quite far apart, which meant I wouldn't have time for lunch and would have to attend class starving. Sitting in the classroom, my stomach couldn't help but grumble. I silently sighed at how a few good days had made me so delicate. I grew up without parents, relying on government aid, subsidies, tuition waivers, and constant part-time jobs to successfully make my way to university. I didn't have many options in life. Money was always the top priority. Almost all my extracurricular time in college was spent either going to a part-time job or on my way to one. I simply had no time to even think about things like dating. Hence, I earned the title Ice Queen. Actually, I have a pretty good personality. I just never had the time to show it to anyone. Hi, can I sit here? A gentle voice floated down from above, interrupting my deep thoughts. It was actually the upperclassman I had mistaken for my sugar daddy that day, Harry. Sure, Harry. I blushed and scooted over. That morning, calling him babe in front of so many people, and then running off without explaining, must have been really embarrassing for him. Thinking of this, I proactively apologized. I'm so sorry, Harry. I mistook you for someone else that morning. It really wasn't intentional. It's okay, I didn't come looking for you because of that. Harry sat down next to me. I didn't have anything else to do today, so I came to sit in on your class to review. He hesitated for a moment, then continued, but why would you mistake your own boyfriend for someone else? Are you guys in an online relationship? I blurted out a lie. No, it was love at first sight for both of us. We felt like we were destined for each other, so we started dating fast. But that first glance was too short, and after sleeping on it, I couldn't quite recognize him. I couldn't very well tell him that Harry and I had a financial arrangement. I see. Harry turned, his dark eyes fixed on me. That's a real shame. If you had seen me earlier, maybe it would have been my face you fell in love with at first sight. Huh? My brain couldn't quite process that for a moment. I had seen Harry long before. He almost always appeared at student representative speeches and when representing our department in major competitions. It's just that I never had any interaction with him, and I certainly didn't expect him to know me, the always rushing part-timer. I remember you never used to date. 2 or 3 of my classmates confessed to you and got rejected. I thought you were focused on your studies, but it turns out you just hadn't met someone you liked enough. Yeah, ha ha ha. I nodded on the surface, thinking to myself, it wasn't about liking someone enough, it was about finding someone rich enough. After that, Harry didn't chat with me anymore. He put on a pair of gold-rimmed glasses and focused on the lecture. Occasionally, if he saw me looking confused, he would briefly explain things to me. I have to say, being able to represent the department in competitions, Harry's fundamentals were very solid, and his explanations were clear and easy to understand. I was listening so intently that I didn't even realize class was over. Until Harry's sarcastic voice cut in, interrupting our little study session. Sweetie, mistook your man again? Harry looked down at his textbook and adjusted his glasses. No, I was just explaining a problem to her. Is that so? Harry's lips curved into a smile, but his eyes held no amusement. Well, sweetie, you can listen next time. I brought you lunch. Only then did I see the food container dangling from Harry's fingers. Thanks for today, Harry. I'm heading off now. Harry's eyebrows arched attractively. See you next time, then. On the way back to the dorm, Harry was stone-faced and silent. I tried to make small talk. So nice of you to bring me lunch. Harry glanced at me. Did you eat? Was it good? I was completely out of ideas. Harry was being so obvious that even my dense, romance-clueless brain figured out he was jealous. I didn't know how to appease him at that moment, so I took out my phone and secretly Googled, how to soothe a jealous boyfriend. The first answer was, explain things clearly to your boyfriend and explicitly tell him that his place in your heart is irreplaceable. Then, take some initiative, show him more care, and do something to make him happy. Just as I was reading intently, Harry suddenly stopped walking and said unhappily, what are you secretly looking at? Nothing. I put my phone away. Harry's face darkened even more. He took a deep breath and lit a cigarette, looking down. From his expression, I could tell he was on the verge of exploding. My high-paying job was in jeopardy. I quickly explained, following the template, I just happened to run into Harry. I don't know him very well, so don't get the wrong idea. Your place in my heart is irreplaceable. Truly irreplaceable. Who else would give me a $200,000 monthly salary? Harry's expression softened a bit. He turned his head and exhaled a puff of smoke, asking me. So, the phone? What were you hiding? I hesitated for a moment, then handed him my phone. Harry took the phone, glanced at it, and a small smile played on his lips. You know I'm jealous, huh? Yeah. I looked up at him. You're being too obvious, it's hard not to know. You're already my girlfriend, yet you still call him babe, go to class with him, and even say, see you next time. It's really annoying to hear. Did I spend $200,000 a month just to get cheated on again? My bad. I hung my head. What's next? Didn't it say up there, you're supposed to do something to make me happy? You tell me, what do you want me to do? Harry tilted his chin up. Open your phone camera. I opened the camera. He took my phone, randomly stopped a passing student and said something to them, then walked over to me, his hand holding the cigarette naturally resting on my shoulder. Look at the camera. After taking a few shots, Harry looked at the photos and seemed reasonably satisfied. I proactively asked, should I, post it on social media and make it official? You get it. Harry's brow finally relaxed. He pulled me forward. No rush, go back and eat your lunch first. Your stomach has been growling for a while. It's rude to let it keep going. I awkwardly touched my stomach, surprised he'd heard it. Back in the dorm, I didn't even eat before posting on my socials. A picture of us together with 3 words, my boyfriend. By the time I finished eating, my comments section had exploded. All capital letter question marks. When did you start dating? Is your boyfriend that rich kid from the computer science department? What happened to all about the money? When did I stop being about the money? Harry didn't comment, just liked my post. He didn't post anything on his socials, but of course, I wouldn't mind. I'm just an employee, how could I make demands of my good boss? But after this incident, I felt my lack of relationship experience was seriously affecting my boss's dating experience. After some serious soul-searching, I decided to find some campus romance novels and sweet rom-coms to binge-watch and brush up on my relationship knowledge. Just as I opened a K-drama app, the dorm room door burst open with a bang, and 2 women shrieked as they lunged at me, firing off a barrage of questions. We had to find out you were dating from your social media. Who asked out who? How did it happen? Have you held hands? Have you kissed? Spill the beans now. I paused for a moment. Well, this all started when... Wait a minute. My dorm leader, Chloe, manually paused me, grabbed 2 bags of chips from her cabinet, and ripped them open. Okay, continue. So, I spent 3 minutes giving them the rundown. They were both stunned into silence for a long while after I finished. 200,000? Every month? Not a scam? Did you sign a contract? I answered honestly, he gave me the money, no contract signed. Are you stupid? That money can probably be taken back. Wait, let me ask my boyfriend, he's a law student. I'll get him to draw up a contract for you. Chloe walked out, already on the phone. The 2 of us stared blankly at each other for 2 minutes, then Chloe came back. We'll print the contract later. He has to sign it. Jessica hesitated a little. Harry, he probably wouldn't do something like take the money back, right? My boyfriend is in his class, and his family is super rich. I've run into him a few times when I was on dates, and he's always driving a different sports car. No way, this is 200,000 we're talking about. We have to be careful. Let's go print out the contract right now. Thinking about it, I agreed that signing a contract was a good idea. So, the 3 of us crammed into the copy shop downstairs, printed out the contract, and I stuffed it into my canvas tote bag. Chloe frowned. No, seriously, you're making 200,000 a month. How come your lifestyle is still stuck at 9.99 free shipping? Jessica chimed in, exactly. It's still early, why don't we go shopping? I looked at my bag. Is it really necessary? We're all students anyway. As long as it can hold books, isn't that enough? Harry's friends are all rich kids. Even if it's just to make your sugar daddy look good, you should buy something decent. I nodded. You have a point. The 3 of us hailed a cab and headed straight for the mall. Chloe came from a well-off family and knew a lot about luxury goods. She picked out some basic clothes and bags that suited my figure and style. After a shopping spree, the 3 of us emerged laden with bags, big and small. We hadn't walked more than a few steps when Jessica suddenly whispered, Daisy, look to your left. I think that's Harry. Why is there a girl with him? Did he cheat right after you guys went official? I quickly and discreetly glanced over. Harry had his hands in his pockets, walking forward impatiently. The woman beside him was a blur, but strikingly pale. She had her arm linked through his and was struggling to keep up in her high heels. Chloe rolled up her sleeves. It really is him. And he has the nerve to walk towards us. I'm going to go chew out the other woman for you. No, no, no. I quickly grabbed Chloe, pulled out the sunglasses and hat from one of the shopping bags, put them on, ducked my head, and sneakily pulled the two of them into a hasty retreat. Let's go, quick, don't let him see me. The three of us scrambled and hid inside a luxury boutique. I peeked my head out, scouting the enemy. Chloe, annoyed, pulled me back and took off my sunglasses. No, I don't get it. Who exactly is cheating here? Why are you running faster than him? What's going on? Of course he's the one cheating, but I can't let him know that I know he's cheating. What if he gets mad and wants to break up with me? Where else am I going to find a deal this good? Chloe gave me a thumbs up. My bad, I was thinking too small. The three of us shamelessly stayed in the luxury store until closing, making sure we wouldn't run into Harry, before timidly heading back. Not long after I got back to the dorm, Harry messaged me. Went out today? I denied it instantly. Nope. This was about 200,000, there was no way I was admitting it. Harry and I were getting closer. Occasionally, if he woke up early, he'd wait for me downstairs at my dorm. I'd been practicing my makeup skills, and one day I got up extra early to do a delicate, natural look. My black, curly hair cascaded over my shoulders, and I wore a pure white dress. As soon as I got downstairs, I saw a tall, slender figure standing under the ginkgo tree. Good morning, babe, I greeted him proactively. Harry casually looked up. When he saw me, his smoking motion paused, and he stared at me intently for 2 seconds before putting out his cigarette and walking over. Do I look good? I proactively twirled to show off. He smiled, patiently watching me finish. Beautiful. Why are you all dressed up today? I'll dress up like this every day from now on. I proactively linked my arm with his. Harry's arm stiffened for a moment, and he awkwardly turned his head away. You look good whether you dress up or not. Just as he finished speaking, his phone rang. Harry looked down at it and reluctantly answered. What? Harry, sweetie. It was a woman's voice on the other end, so gentle it was almost dripping. I don't know if he accidentally hit speakerphone, but the voice was exceptionally clear. The situation was a bit awkward, so I decided to give them some privacy. I'm going upstairs to get something. With that, I dashed back to the dorm, which was perfect timing to grab the contract Chloe had drafted for me. Then I silently peeked out the hallway window, waiting for him to finish his call before going back out. Harry's mood suddenly soured, his face clouded over, and he was silent all the way. I belatedly realized I probably shouldn't have said anything earlier. Was it that his little sister was being clueless, misunderstood when she heard a woman's voice, and then argued with him? I was getting a little anxious, even wanting to personally teach him a trick or two. Just say I'm a classmate, or a sister, or even a cousin, anything would work. Can't he even make up a little lie like that? During class, Harry also sat there without saying a word. I was getting antsy next to him. What are you waiting for? Take out your phone, hurry up and smooth things over. A short class period passed, and I was restless. Harry finally couldn't take it anymore and asked, "What are you fidgeting around for?" I forced a fake smile. New clothes, not quite used to them. He stared at me for 2 seconds, then suddenly leaned in closer. A woman called me just now. Aren't you jealous? Do you really just see me as an emotionless ATM? To be honest, I don't think I get jealous. For 200,000, I could tolerate a Sahara desert in my eyes. But, couples in love should get jealous. Of course I'm jealous, I said shamelessly. Then show me you're jealous. I lightly punched Harry's chest with my little fist. You bad man, how could you do this? I love you so much, and you're still walking around arm in arm with other girls and talking to them on the phone right in front of me. I continued while rummaging through my bag, don't do this again, sweetie. As punishment, you have to sign this contract. When I handed him the contract, Harry was completely stunned. After a long moment, he finally signed the contract with a grim face. You're really something, Daisy. Harry was mad. He didn't want me to go to class with him anymore, and he wasn't replying to my messages. He was also frequently seen strolling around campus shoulder to shoulder with girls. And wouldn't you know it, I bumped into them every single time. It forced me to carry a hat, mask, and sunglasses with me at all times. Whenever I saw them, I'd quickly get fully disguised and slip away, playing blind to the very end. Chloe and Jessica got dragged into my daily dodging routine. For a while, our dorm room felt like a guerrilla squad, always on high alert. I racked my brains for days, but I had no idea how to appease him. Send roses? Make a heart shape downstairs? Write an apology letter? When I couldn't find a solution, I sent Harry a message on WhatsApp asking to talk. If I could smooth things over, I would. If not, I'd quit. I'd already made the money anyway, and I couldn't keep up this guerrilla warfare. As night fell, Harry finally replied. He sent a location, some bar. When I got to the bar entrance, I called Harry. However, his friend answered the phone. Is this wifey? Come on in, Harry's drunk. The music in the bar was deafening, and young men and women with heavy makeup bustled about. The dance floor was a hot, churning mass. As soon as I walked in, a few guys waved at me. Over here. I'd never seen them before, and I had no idea how they recognized me at first glance. When I got closer, I saw Harry slumped on the booth sofa, his head lolling to the side, one arm lightly covering his eyes, revealing only his thin lips and sharp jawline. Sis, did you and Harry have a fight? He's been drinking for days. It's rare for you to come today, quick, cheer him up. Yeah, sis, Harry really likes you. For his sake, since he's so pitiful, don't hold it against him. The guys chimed in one after another, leaving me speechless. I leaned in, squatted down beside Harry, and gently shook the hand resting on his forehead. I asked softly, Harry, are you okay? Harry frowned and grabbed my fidgeting hand. Harry? Weren't you calling me babe every day just a while ago? Just then, the song changed, and the music stopped for a few seconds. Everyone around heard what he said. Ooh, how sweet is that? Couldn't even speak clearly a minute ago, but now that wifey's here, he's talking just fine. Teasing hoots rose and fell around us, and my face turned beet red. It won't kill you to say a few less words. Harry casually threw a pillow at them and stood up shakily, massaging his temples. I asked him in a low voice, should I take you home? Harry put one hand on my shoulder, his steps a bit unsteady. He really liked putting his arm around my shoulder. Given our height difference, I often suspected he was using me as a crutch. The designated driver, following the address, arrived at a small 2-story villa. I helped Harry out of the car. Is anyone home? No, he mumbled. I hesitated for a long time, looking at Harry's wobbly steps, and finally decided to take him home and get him settled. Otherwise, he'd definitely fall and hurt himself. The house was pitch black inside. I could only vaguely make out the general layout by the moonlight, 2 floors, several doors. So I had to ask him, where's your bedroom? It's fine, I'll just sleep on the sofa. I insisted, I've already brought you inside, go sleep in your bedroom. Harry lowered his head, resting it on my forehead, pulling me closer. Even though the room was dark, a few specks of starlight seemed to illuminate Harry's dark eyes. He lowered his voice. Daisy, even though I'm an ATM, I'm still a man. Are you really this comfortable with me? My heart pounded wildly, and I nervously looked away. Not comfortable. Well then, there you go. Sit with me on the sofa for a bit. Harry slumped onto the sofa, gently pulling my hand, and I tumbled into his arms. Daisy, I'm in a bad mood. Comfort me. I lay in his arms, blushing furiously, and thought for a long time. Don't be in a bad mood. Harry couldn't help but chuckle, his chest vibrating gently, sending a ticklish sensation through my heart. You can't even comfort someone? Is this your VIP treatment? I inexplicably got a little angry. I'm already letting you hold me, what more do you want? All right, I don't want anything else. This is good. Just as he finished speaking, Harry's phone rang inopportunely again. He fumbled for his phone, looked at it, and then shoved it at me. You answer it. I glanced at the caller ID, it was a woman's name. I was a bit flustered. Could it be, he wanted me to make someone angry for him again? Don't overthink it. That's my mom. Just tell her I'm asleep. Feeling a bit guilty, I answered the phone. Hello, ma'am. Harry's already asleep. Can I have him call you back tomorrow? Are you his girlfriend? The voice on the other end spoke, and I froze for a moment. It was actually the woman who had called him Harry, sweetie, the other day. She seemed to have a naturally soft and delicate voice. Everything she said sounded like she was pouting. I glanced at Harry. His chin was resting on my shoulder, and he didn't say anything. I had no choice but to bite the bullet. Yes, ma'am. Oh my goodness, really? Harry got a girlfriend and didn't even tell me. Sweetie, how old are you? Do you go to the same school as Harry? For the next 20 minutes, I was subjected to a full-scale interrogation by Harry's mother, covering everything from my education and age to my family background. When I told her I had no parents, she was noticeably quiet for 2 seconds, then said softly, Is that so? You must have suffered a lot then. It's been okay, I guess, I replied nonchalantly. Finally, I managed to hang up the phone using the excuse that I needed to rest. Your aunt is very gentle. Why didn't you want to answer? Harry's expression flickered. I don't know. So, you've been in a bad mood these past few days because you argued with your aunt? We didn't argue. Harry gave a bitter smile. It's because my mom's birthday and the anniversary of my dad's death are on the same day. But, that's not something your mom could choose. Yes, that reason is a bit flimsy. Harry lowered his eyes. Daisy, did you know, I used to be a child without parents too? No way. I looked around. Even without the lights on, I could vaguely discern the luxury of this villa. Were you adopted? No. When I was in elementary school, my dad got really sick, and my mom divorced him. We had no money, so we had to stop his treatment, and he passed away soon after. Then I became an orphan. Later, in high school, my mom reappeared. My stepdad is very rich, but he can't have children, so she found me and wanted me to come back. A few days ago, it was my mom's birthday. She doesn't know her birthday is the same day as my dad's death anniversary, and I haven't told her. But looking at her, I always think, if she hadn't left back then, maybe my dad would have lived a little longer. My stepdad treats me like his own son, and my mom does everything she can to compensate me. I know she was just pursuing a better life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's always this thorn in my heart. Every time I try to get a little closer to her, that thorn digs deeper. Daisy, do you ever resent your parents? No, I answered without thinking. Life is short, I don't want to live in resentment. When some people complain about being barefoot, there are people in the world who don't even have legs. I have all my limbs, what obstacle can't I overcome? I guess I'll never learn how to comfort people. Maybe some motivational fluff will work. Harry looked at me intently. Daisy, you're not at all like I imagined. Then what did you imagine I was like? Every time I saw you at school, you had a cold face, looking like you were carrying the weight of the world. Duh. I rolled my eyes. Would you be smiling if you were working odd jobs all the time? I look at everyone like they owe me 2 million. Then just get back to work. Harry hugged me tighter. Read me a bedtime story, lull me to sleep. This counts as overtime. I grumbled as I started Googling bedtime stories. Once upon a time, there was a mountain. On the mountain, there was a temple. In the temple, there was an old monk and a young monk. As I read, my eyelids grew heavier, and the night grew deeper. In my dream, I heard Harry's voice. Daisy, what if we try dating seriously? I mumbled in a daze, more money. 400,000. I shook my head. 400,000 isn't boyfriend price. 400,000 is too little for you to be my boyfriend. How about I upgrade you directly to my adoptive parents, and I'll work like a dog to show my filial piety to you. Pretend I didn't say anything. Oh, come on, we can negotiate. 350,000 would work too. Harry's voice faded from my dream. Only I was left muttering. Are you still there? Hello? How about a flat 300,000? Shut up and sleep. Oh. The next day, I dragged my aching body out of bed, was shoved into Harry's car, and rushed to school for morning classes. I rubbed my lower back, complaining. How tight were you holding me? I feel like my back is broken. Harry sounded sheepish. I was just afraid you'd fall off, it wasn't on purpose. You weren't afraid I'd fall off, you were afraid I wouldn't die. Alright, I'll make it up to you. Send me your account number, I'll renew for a year. I instantly perked up, sent him the string of numbers, and then it hit me. Aren't you graduating in 6 months? None of your business. What if I just like college girls, huh? I looked thoughtful. If you're going to put it that way, I might have to consider taking a leave of absence and repeating a year. Harry shot me a completely exasperated look. There's really nothing you wouldn't dare to think of. I made it to the academic building just in the nick of time. There was only one empty seat in the classroom. As soon as I sat down, 2 daggers in the form of glares shot at me from the front row. Jessica and Chloe were looking at me with an expression of you're a lost cause. Yesterday, I told them I was going to talk to Harry and then left. I fell asleep before I had a chance to reply to their messages. Staying out all night, they probably misunderstood. After finally enduring 2 hours, as soon as the bell rang, Chloe and Jessica swiftly dragged me back to the dorm and sat down solemnly. Daisy, we need to talk. If Harry's moved on, just let him go. We know you really need money, but you can't keep a man with your body. This is really... Stop. I quickly cut them off, afraid they'd say something even more outrageous. Nothing happened yesterday. Harry drank too much, and I took him home. Chloe stared at me suspiciously. Really, nothing? We hugged. Was it consensual? Well, semi-consensual. Jessica frowned. After all this, don't tell me you're the one lusting after his body? Don't be ridiculous, of course not. I lowered my head, feeling guilty. I couldn't say I had no ulterior motives. I was definitely a little bit thirsty. In less than 6 months, my notebook titled Sugar Daddy's Preferences was already filled with scribbles. I was getting more and more proficient at playing the role of girlfriend. Harry's favorite foods, drinks, hobbies, even the personalities of his friends and his mother, I knew them all like the back of my hand. I catered to his tastes, was a good girl every day, and made sure he never got jealous. I also diligently read 10 rules every smart woman must know, never looked at his phone, never asked about his whereabouts, and gave him plenty of freedom. The occasional arguments we had were usually Harry complaining that I gave him too much freedom. During my free time, I would also go to Harry's villa. Because he asked me to cook for him personally. One time, Harry's mother came home. She was very warm, and with me there, Harry didn't seem as awkward. We got along quite well. Unconsciously, I had completely integrated into his life. If it weren't for the over $1 million in my bank account, I would have almost forgotten that there was still a financial relationship between us. During the National Day holiday, I had nowhere to go and was just lazing around in the dorm when Harry dragged me back to his little villa. While I was waiting for him at the school gate, the surgically enhanced beauty I hadn't seen in a long time reappeared. She teetered on her high heels, shooting daggers with her eyes at me and Harry on his motorcycle, then gracefully got into a convertible sports car, which roared off. My bike costs way more than that piece of junk sports car. What's she showing off for? Hold on tight. As soon as he finished speaking, the motorcycle roared and sped off. I held on to Harry's waist tightly. Through his thin t-shirt, I felt something a little strange about his waist, and couldn't help but curiously feel around for a bit longer. The fat on your stomach, why is it hard? That's freaking abs, have you felt enough yet? Oh. I sheepishly pulled my hand back, then turned my head to see the convertible sports car awkwardly stopped in the middle of the road. The driver was nowhere to be seen, it looked like the car had broken down. Harry slowed down, and I immediately played along. Hey girl, you just wait there, we're leaving now, bye. Harry sped up and roared away. On the way to the villa, a sentence silently formed in my mind. If my man fights, I hand him the knife. If my man curses, I egg him on. But I never, ever expected that if my husband cheated, I'd have to take care of the baby. After Harry and I got back to the villa, we grabbed a bunch of snacks, sat on his bedroom carpet, and started watching a horror movie streamed from his phone. I'm a wimp, but I love watching them. Not even half an hour in, I had already burrowed into Harry's arms. Just when the horror movie was at its most thrilling moment, countless high-energy warnings scrolled across the screen. I clung to Harry's arm, staring intently at the screen, bracing myself for the screams. 2 messages suddenly popped up on his WhatsApp. I'm pregnant. My due date is in a few days. The air grew subtly quiet. I stared at those words, completely ignoring the terrifying ghostly face at the bottom of the screen. After a long while, thinking about the balance in my bank account, I hesitantly said, should I go help my dear sister out during her postpartum month? Harry's arm around me suddenly loosened. Sure, he said, looking at me with a hint of coldness. Get ready tomorrow, go take care of her while she gives birth. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't feel right earning this money. Okay, I'll go get ready now. I silently grabbed my bag, went out to the mall, and bought baby supplies. As I was shopping, tears inexplicably started streaming down my face. I didn't even know what I was buying. I just sat there in the bustling mall, holding several bags of baby stuff, completely dazed. Daisy? Harry's face suddenly came into view. Harry. I quickly wiped away my tears. What's this? He asked, glancing at the baby supplies by my side. I explained while wiping my tears. No, this is for my good friend. Harry looked shocked. Chloe's pregnant? I couldn't help but start crying again, sobbing. Not them, it's Harry's girlfriend. But aren't you his girlfriend? Did you break up? We didn't break up. I have to go take care of his other woman during her postpartum month. Harry, why is my life so miserable? I grabbed Harry's arm and started wailing. Harry was completely dumbfounded. He comforted me incoherently for half an hour before my emotions gradually stabilized. After I quieted down, Harry looked at me cautiously. Feeling better after crying it out? I lowered my head, starting to feel embarrassed about my earlier outburst. Luckily, Harry didn't press further, just helped me carry the bags and walked me downstairs. Should I walk you back? No need. I stared at a fleeting figure in the distance. It looked like Harry. Daisy. I snapped back to attention. The warm yellow streetlight illuminated Harry's face, making his already gentle features appear even softer. If Harry isn't good to you, you can consider me. I lowered my head, staring at the pile of baby supplies at my feet, and said through gritted teeth. Actually, Harry is pretty good to me. Even though he's making me take care of his other woman's baby, he's pretty good to me. Harry smiled politely yet distantly. Figured as much. I respect your choice. He always seemed to be like this, gentle, considerate, and steadfast. However, the sudden and uncontrollable emotions I just experienced made me clearly realize that my feelings for Harry might have become real. Even if I now found out I was just another fish in his net, just a working girl, then all I can say is that I feel even more justified in taking this money. By the time I got back to the villa by car, Harry was already asleep. I tidied up and went to bed too. It was just a transaction from the beginning. I had nothing to be angry about. My emotional breakdown earlier was probably because a little corner of my heart that held some expectations suddenly crumbled. Early the next morning, I took the baby supplies I'd bought, got in Harry's car, and went to take care of his other woman during her postpartum month. When we reached the hospital room door, Harry stopped. "You go in first, I'll be back in a bit." I nodded and went in by myself. The woman in the hospital room was sleeping. She looked to be about 28 or 29, with incredibly fair skin. It was probably the woman I had accidentally bumped into at the mall. I tried to put down my things as quietly as possible, but I still managed to wake her. The woman slowly propped herself up. "Little sister, why are you here? Where's Harry?" My heart ached a little. She called me little sister just as naturally as I did. Sure enough, rich men can make women put aside their differences and even call each other sisters. "Hi, big sister." I greeted her respectfully and started pouring her some hot water. "Harry said he'll be back in a bit and asked me to take care of you first." No, just leave it there. You're a guest, how can I let you take care of me?" "It's okay, big sister." I gave a bitter smile and started working. "Alright, just pretend I took a job as a nanny. For $200,000 a month, I'm definitely not losing out." Just as I was getting into the swing of things, a strange man walked in. After entering, the man went straight to the woman on the hospital bed, sat beside her, and gently kissed her forehead. "How are you feeling? Still uncomfortable?" The woman kissed his cheek. "Not uncomfortable anymore, sweetie." I was dumbfounded. A love square? Who exactly cheated on whom? Is this the world of the rich? At least have the decency to do it behind my back. I stood there, completely speechless. Just then, Harry walked in carrying a bunch of nutritional supplements. The two on the bed were still snuggled up together. I felt a little thrill of excitement. Here it comes, here it comes. The mystery of who the green hat ultimately belongs to is about to be revealed. Unexpectedly, the man on the bed remained unfazed and greeted him warmly. "Harry's here." The woman, however, scolded, "You're really something, making your sister-in-law come alone while you ran off." "Didn't I come? Besides, she was so keen on taking care of you during your postpartum month, I couldn't stop her." I was dumbfounded. Only then did Harry introduce them to me. "This is my cousin, and this is my cousin-in-law." Damn it. In the evening, Harry took me back. As soon as we got home, I punched him in the chest. "Are you messing with me?" Hiss. Harry rubbed his chest. "How am I messing with you? Didn't you want to help with the postpartum care? I brought you there. What's the problem? You clearly knew I thought that was my what?" Harry looked down, grabbing my waist and pulling me forward. "Girlfriend? Isn't that you? You knew I misunderstood, and you didn't even explain? Daisy, you have such a big heart, you're even willing to take care of the other woman's baby. What could you possibly misunderstand? Besides, when I went to explain, didn't you already have your upperclassmen? Forget it, you're the boss, I won't argue with you." I pushed him away, annoyed. Harry grabbed my wrist and pulled me back to his side. "Daisy, I don't want to be your boss anymore. You're firing me? I'll trade my entire fortune for a marriage certificate with you, how about it? In your dreams. How much fortune can a student like you possibly have?" I spoke my mind, blurting out what I was really thinking. Harry was so angry he laughed. "Well, at $200,000 a month, I can still be your boss for another 20 or 30 years. What? Gotten pickier?" Thinking about the zeros in my bank account balance, I swallowed hard. But I managed to hit the brakes in time. No, it's too fast. I haven't graduated yet, and I haven't started working. Maybe in the future, I'll be richer than you, and I'll be able to hire a college student for $200,000 a month to be my boyfriend. Don't even think about it. Harry lowered his head, resting his forehead against mine, his eyes deep. Then I want to be your boyfriend. As if burned by his intense gaze, I uncomfortably looked away. Aren't you already my boyfriend? Not just in name. Harry leaned in closer, his lips brushing my nose. I mean, in the truest sense. For example, like this. A warm sensation landed, and my mind went blank. After who knows how long, I regained my senses. Harry, you don't hate me for being a gold digger? I wish you were even more of a gold digger. That way, when I offer my entire fortune for a marriage certificate, you wouldn't refuse. So we try first? Harry's lips curved into a smile. Okay, then let's continue. Soon, Harry graduated. After graduation, he didn't go to his stepfather's company, he went into software development instead. Because of this, his family cut off his allowance. At that time, my lucky streak suddenly kicked in again. The stocks I'd casually bought skyrocketed, and my savings multiplied several times over. I simply bought several properties at once, studying for my master's while collecting rent. Although Harry was also making money, it clearly wasn't as much as me. Suddenly, I was richer than Harry. It made Harry wary every day, hitting the gym constantly, afraid I'd really go hire a male college student to be my boyfriend. On the night of our second anniversary, he was particularly down, hugging me mournfully. Daisy, what do I do? You become a young rich woman at such a young age. Does that mean you look down on my entire fortune even more now? I nodded. I really do. Harry lowered his head and thought for a long time. Then I won't do software development anymore. How about my stepfather's entire fortune? If that's okay, I'll go home and inherit the company. Harry looked at me. What? It's a huge fortune, it'd be a waste not to take it. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then I'll hire you to be my boyfriend too. From now on, I'll be your boss. If I haven't fired you in 2 years, I'll make you permanent. How about that? It's a deal. Harry was afraid I'd go back on my word. From then on, Harry also acquired a notebook titled Rich Girls' Preferences. He was exceptionally serious, every page was densely filled with black ink. That day, he was silently flipping through the notebook and sighed, "Look at my attitude, so much more serious than yours back then." I couldn't resist taking it and flipping through it. I discovered that the first few pages were actually written starting 2 years ago. Each day only had a few short sentences. Turns out I'm not the only one who doesn't know how to date. Daisy actually Googled how to appease her boyfriend today. First picture together, how come I feel like she outshines me? Waited half a day and Daisy still didn't ask me to post on social media. Couldn't resist going official behind her back. First time showing off our relationship, a bit nervous. Today, my cousin dragged me to buy a birthday present for my mom, and I ran into Daisy. When she saw me, she put on sunglasses and ran away like a thief. So weird. Daisy actually wore makeup today, she's so damn beautiful. I was already in a bad mood today, and Daisy still tried to trick me into signing a contract. So mad. I've been walking around with classmates for 3 or 4 days straight. Daisy doesn't even try to make up with me, and when she sees me, she puts on sunglasses and runs away. Is this how a sugar daddy should be treated? Will it ever end, Daisy? Those are sunglasses, not an invisibility cloak. Got to hug Daisy today. Not mad anymore, my heart melted. I wanted to confess, but somehow it turned into renewing for another year. Forget it, I'll mentally prepare and confess next year. Daisy cooked for me today, it was so delicious. I love watching horror movies with Daisy the most, she clings to me and won't let go. Daisy is so cute. Actually, Daisy's face is pretty sour when she's not working. She only smiles when she's with me. I love it. Further on, it was just a stream of similar compliments. So good, I managed to snag a total romantic. Stop looking, stop looking. It didn't seem this sappy when I was writing it. Harry snatched the notebook away, the tips of his ears turning so red they looked like they were about to bleed. From now on, it's not called Rich Girl's Preferences, it's called Simp's Diary. I corrected him. What's simp? This is called professional dedication. Daisy, I showed you my diary, now let me see yours. I shook my head like a tambourine. Impossible, absolutely impossible, don't even think about it. Because my diary only had 2 New Year's wishes. May Daisy have a bright future. May Daisy and Harry be together, year after year. Epilogue. After successfully getting into grad school, for convenience, I bought several properties near the university. One for myself, and the rest all rented out. After posting the rental information, the applications quickly flooded in. I spent one night selecting a few perfect tenants. Harry sat across from me, holding my phone, and asked doubtfully, "Isn't this a freshman on my basketball team?" I paused, then nodded immediately. "Yeah, for your sake, I even agreed to give him a discount." "So considerate." Harry nodded, satisfied, and looked at the next tenant's information. "Isn't this a friend I work out with at the gym?" "You really know how to pick them, they both look." Harry stopped. He frowned, quickly scanned the information of several people, and then started looking at the rental ad I posted. Harry's mouth twitched. "Daisy." I looked innocent. "What?" "I'm just doing you a favor." "Are you renting out rooms or looking for a date?" "So all those 365 days a year I spent at the gym were for nothing, huh?" "Daisy, you have no heart." "No way." I started making stuff up. "Isn't this for creating a good study environment for myself? Besides, think about it, if I'm looking at athletic guys with abs at home every day, would I still go to messy places like nightclubs for excitement? Definitely not." Harry's face darkened even more. "Daisy, do you even believe what you're saying? Are 6-pack abs not enough for you to look at? You want 8? I shot him a resentful look. "Looking is enough, but you won't let me touch." "Fine, you can touch." Harry stood up, grabbed the sleeve of his t-shirt with one hand, and took it off in 2 seconds. "Just don't run away after you're done touching." I stared at the abs right in front of me and swallowed hard. Are you kidding? Would I run away from something this good? Usually, I'm the one shamelessly copping a feel. This was my first time openly experiencing the texture of abs, and I was thoroughly enjoying it. But as I kept touching, Harry's gaze on me grew darker, his eyes staring at me intently, his Adam's apple bobbing. I finally realized something was wrong, and somewhat flustered, I let go and threw Harry's t-shirt back at him. "Ahem, that's enough touching for today. You should put it on first." Harry pulled me back, picked me up, and walked towards the bedroom. "I warned you beforehand. It's no use regretting it now. You started this fire, you're responsible for putting it out. You reap what you sow." By the time the fire was out, it was the middle of the night. My phone was vibrating like crazy. I had to open it and check my messages, enduring Harry's gloomy stare. Besides a few inquiry messages from the younger tenants, the rest were all from Chloe and Jessica in our dorm group chat. "Chloe, Daisy, how's it going with the guys? Are they renting? You have to rent to that jock, put him in the room next to mine. If he's short on cash, give him a 50% discount, I'll cover the rest. Jessica, Daisy, say something. How's it going? Did you arrange for the 2 guys I picked? After they sign the contract, remember to send me their WhatsApp. Just say I'm the beautiful neighbor. And lend me your white dress, I need to prop up my angelic image." The 2 of them had sent hundreds of messages, all with similar content. "Me, tomorrow. Just finished placating Harry." "Chloe, placating him this late? Damn. Jessica, I suggest you retract that. I'm jealous. I want to placate a younger guy too. Harry pressed against me from behind. So, you're running a matchmaking service for your girlfriends here? I quickly dimmed the screen. What do you know? This is called sisterly love. Chloe broke up a year ago, and Jessica had been perpetually single. Seeing me and Harry all lovey-dovey made them jealous every day. I had no choice but to resort to this, using my resources to give my sisters a chance to pick from quality options. Harry said sourly, then why don't you move in with me? The thought of you looking at jock abs at home every day makes me sour too. No way, I have to stay here and ensure their safety. Everything is for my sisters, absolutely not because I want to look. Is that so? Harry's hot palm covered mine. Then continue placating me, until you don't want to look at abs anymore. Despite Harry's strong objections, the younger guys successfully moved in. Jessica and Chloe acted gentle and lovely every day. Even taking out the trash required full makeup and an innocently sexy look. After Harry moped alone for a while, Jessica and Chloe couldn't stand it anymore. They pulled him aside for a private talk. I don't know what the three of them said, but Harry came out looking much more cheerful. Later, while we were watching a show together, I complained to them. Harry's been so clingy lately, I have no personal space. Chloe popped a grape into her mouth. Isn't clingy good? It means he's not having an affair. Jessica chimed in, yeah, there are so many jerks out there these days. You wouldn't find a loyal, clingy boyfriend like Harry even if you searched with a lantern. The two of them, who always sided with me, were actually starting to speak up for Harry. Moreover, after I complained to them, Harry's visits became noticeably less frequent. I vaguely sensed something was off, but I had no proof. Until one afternoon, while I was engrossed in writing my thesis at home, someone rang my doorbell. I opened the door, and it was actually Harry, the upperclassman. I heard he had entered the workforce now. His demeanor was still refined, but his eyes held a new sharpness. Seeing it was me, he also paused for a moment. Long time no see, Daisy. I was a little surprised. Long time no see. How did you know I was here, senior? I didn't know. I just heard from a friend that the rent here is very cheap, and the requirements. He paused for 2 seconds. I fit them all pretty well. You certainly do fit, senior. I was so embarrassed my toes curled. I felt like my image was ruined. I knew I shouldn't have let Jessica and Chloe write the rental requirements back then. They were the ones trying to hook up with handsome guys. I was the one getting embarrassed. Speak of the devil, the door to the next room opened, and 2 heads popped out. Harry, what are you doing here? Jessica's eyes were like a little spy's. Did you come specifically to see our Daisy, senior? No, it was a coincidence. Nothing to do with you two. I secretly shot them a glare, then turned back with a smile. Senior, there's actually a younger guy looking for a roommate. Let me take you to see the place. With that, I took Harry to see the apartment. The younger guy was a freshman, about 18 or 19, with fair skin and innocent eyes. He was just a bit short, probably reaching Harry's chin. He opened the door and greeted them politely. Hi, landlady's sister, hi big brother. Harry adjusted his glasses and subtly sized up the younger guy. Hello. Neither of them said much, but they seemed relatively satisfied with each other. That afternoon, Harry signed the contract and moved in. I dutifully helped him tidy up the room. Daisy. Harry looked at me bustling about and suddenly asked, are you and Harry still together? I didn't think much of it. Yeah, still together. Harry's hand, which was hanging clothes, suddenly stopped, and his brow furrowed. Daisy, did you really go take care of the baby? Take care of the baby? I froze, then immediately shook my head repeatedly. No, that was me overthinking things, a misunderstanding. Of course, even if it wasn't a misunderstanding, I was capable of doing it. That's good then. Harry let out a sigh of relief. After a moment's hesitation, he still asked, Daisy, I want to know, did you really not have any feelings for me back then? I gave an awkward smile. I guess I was already head over heels for Harry by then. I only had eyes for him. I don't remember if I had feelings or not. It's just that Harry was giving me so much back then. Seeing Harry during that time was as joyful as seeing my bank account balance, so of course, there was no room for anyone else in my eyes. Harry didn't say anything, and I felt a bit flustered. Luckily, the roommate brother appeared at the door just in time. Sister, it's already late. You should go rest. I can help. Right, it is getting a bit late. You guys take your time, I'll head off then. I took the out and quickly slipped away. As I passed the fire escape, I unexpectedly heard Chloe's voice. Little Harry, you gotta come over quick. Harry, the upperclassman, came to rent a place today, and I just heard him asking Daisy if she had feelings for him. It's a bit dangerous. How about you pack your stuff and move over too? Jessica's voice followed closely. What do you care about being clingy or not now? The one who's close gets the girl. If Daisy gets snatched away by Harry, you'll be crying your eyes out. Ahem. I cleared my throat softly. Chloe reacted instantly. Okay, Dad, I know. I'll hang up now. I crossed my arms and looked at them. Don't pretend. Staging a mutiny, are we? Aren't we just helping you train Harry to be the perfect boyfriend? The two of them came over, grinning, and bombarded me with hugs. One was responsible for spouting nonsense, the other for showering me with compliments. In less than half an hour, I pathetically caved and wasn't angry anymore. Just as the two of them retreated from my place, the doorbell rang again. Harry stood at my door, travel-worn, with a suitcase. I immediately blocked the door. What do you want? Even though you give me 200,000 and I only give you 2,000, I never said room and board were included. Daisy, I can't afford rent anymore. Just for a few days, okay? Harry coaxed me while smoothly squeezing his way into the room. Be good, I'll let you touch my abs every day from now on. I don't really want to touch them anymore. Then you can touch other places, as long as it can offset the rent. I suspect he's hitting on me, but I have no proof. Forget it, anyway. I'm not losing out. Living together feels pretty good. Even though Harry is swamped with his own stuff, he still rushes back to cook for me. If he really can't make it, he'll bring me takeout. A few times, when I saw he looked tired, I offered to cook. Then, he would show me with his actions that he wasn't tired at all. Jessica and Chloe also started dating one after another. Harry came looking for me once. I was munching on chips and watching a show at the time. Harry had just come out of the bathroom, toweling his wet hair, when he went to open the door. By the time I got there, Harry had already left. After that, I saw Harry less and less. Occasionally, when I did bump into him, he was walking his dog with his roommate. One night, I was craving Odin like crazy, so I ran down to the convenience store to buy some. On my way back, I ran into Harry and his roommate coming home together. Before they even got into the elevator, the smell of alcohol wafted over. Harry was wearing a suit, a hint of drunkenness in his eyes. The roommate seemed completely wasted, leaning against Harry. When he saw me, he greeted me weakly, landlady. Hey. I stood on the other side of the elevator, holding my Odin. Did you two go out drinking together? Harry nodded. Yeah, right, he's in a bad mood. The roommate interjected, what nonsense are you talking about? It was clearly you. Ding, the elevator arrived just then. Harry quickly covered his mouth. He's drunk and talking nonsense. I'll take him back to sleep first. Just as I was watching the two of them stumble away, Harry appeared from behind me, enjoying the view. I was speechless. Can't I even look? Harry was great in every way, except he loved to get jealous. Especially jealous of Harry. He blocked my view. No, you can't look. Especially not at men like that who have designs on you. Definitely not. I continued to be speechless. It's been half a year, okay? Maybe he's already moved on. Impossible. We're all adults, what's impossible? You don't understand. A man's intuition, Harry said decisively. The next morning, I was about to take something to Harry and his roommate. Harry hurried over and stopped me. It's a small thing, I'll do it. However, less than a minute later, Harry returned. So fast. I stared at Harry's inexplicably flushed face. Harry said, looking thoughtful, then slowly added, my intuition doesn't seem to be very accurate. Really? I was incredibly curious. What did you see? Did Harry bring a girl back? It's just. Harry hesitated for a long moment. Forget it, you'll find out later. Anyway, it has nothing to do with us. Let's do something productive. We got married. On the eve of the wedding, Harry handed me several documents to sign. There were quite a few documents, the first one being a property transfer. Harry's lips curved into a smile. Daisy, my net worth has doubled now. How many times has it doubled? Several times. I flipped through the documents. All in my name? In your name, a voluntary gift, prenuptial property notarization. If you ever leave me, I'll be broke. Aren't you afraid I'll take the money and run? You should know, when it comes to money, I have no bottom line. Harry shrugged. Not afraid. I gave my honest assessment, terminal stage of being head over heels in love. I like it. Harry's epilogue. The first time I saw Daisy was during freshman move-in day. Almost everyone else had parents or relatives with them. Only she was struggling alone with a large suitcase, pushing through the crowd, stopping in front of the dorm building, panting heavily, taking a short break. Her solitary figure seemed to overlap with my past self. I couldn't help myself. I walked over, silently picked up her suitcase, and prepared to carry it back to her dorm. Unexpectedly, Daisy grabbed her suitcase tightly and said warily, Dude, what are you doing? There's no money in there. I said irritably, I'm doing a good deed, helping you with your luggage. Oh. Daisy blushed a little. Sorry, I'm overly cautious. You don't need to help me carry it, I'm fine. With that, she summoned strength from somewhere, lifted the suitcase, and strode towards the dorm building. Watching her retreating figure, I couldn't help but roll my eyes. I secretly swore that I would never meddle in this country bumpkin's affairs again. But, I always found myself unintentionally noticing her. Pretty and unique girls always attract attention. From my classmates, I roughly learned about her background. But even if I was curious about her, I wouldn't actively approach her. After all, I'd been rejected the first time. Besides, every time we passed each other, she had a cold expression and was always rushing. I would absolutely not do anything that would make me lose face. A year later, I started dating. With a let's just try it attitude. I knew that girl only chased after me relentlessly for over a year because she saw me driving fancy cars and wearing expensive watches. As a rich person, I don't mind gold diggers. But I can't tolerate being cheated on. In a fit of rage, Daisy's figure came into view. I knew she needed money, and I was sure she wouldn't refuse me. So I called out to her. I thought she would at least hesitate for a moment, but she snatched the bank card from my hand so decisively, as if afraid I would regret it if she were a second slower. Even if I did want to regret it, after she called me babe, I didn't seem to have any room for regret left. On the first day of our relationship, Daisy mistook someone else for me. I rushed back to school early in the morning and waited for her at the entrance of the boys' dorm. Turns out, she walked right past me with breakfast in hand, not even glancing my way, and then stared intently at the boys' dorm building. I deliberately didn't greet her, wanting to see when she'd realize. Half an hour later, her gaze paused, and she finally moved. I thought she had finally recognized me and swaggered forward a few steps. Unexpectedly, she walked past me again without a glance, leaving me standing there awkwardly. I watched her, holding breakfast, sweetly call out babe to Harry. It made me so angry I actually laughed. Well, yeah, yesterday her eyes were glued to the bank card in my hand. Perhaps it was because I had just been cheated on. When I saw Daisy with Harry again, I got jealous. I didn't plan on hiding my emotions either. Since I was paying, what was wrong with her appeasing me a little? But Daisy probably had no dating experience either. I pushed her so hard she had to Google how to appease her boyfriend. When I went to the mall with my cousin, I saw Daisy and her roommate from afar. Just as I was about to say hi, she put on a hat and sunglasses, grabbed her roommate, and scurried away like a thief. This whole smooth operation left me and my cousin stunned. My cousin teased me, "Your girlfriend is quite a character." She really is. Whenever a woman appeared near me, she'd give me an "I get it, don't worry" look and quickly retreat. The more she did this, the more annoyed I inexplicably became. Shouldn't jealousy be part of the dating experience? I decided to teach her a lesson, ignore her, and let her reflect on her own. Well, that backfired. Not only did she not understand my meaning, she even intensified her efforts, retreating in full gear whenever she saw me. Didn't she know that wearing a hat and sunglasses on campus, then sneakily hiding behind a tree and peeking out, would attract even more attention? To save Daisy from further embarrassment, I decided not to hold it against her anymore. However, it happened to be my mom's birthday, and I wasn't really in the mood to see her. After drinking for several days straight, everyone thought Daisy and I had argued. They had seen my social media post where I went official with her behind her back. As soon as Daisy arrived, they started persuading. I felt embarrassed and continued to pretend to be asleep. Daisy was unusually kind and took me home. Looking at her sparkling eyes, listening to her elementary school level pep talk, I suddenly felt that dating seemed quite wonderful. Although Daisy's attempts at comforting were awkward, the feeling of her responding to everything I said was really nice. I originally wanted to confess, but Daisy's not-so-big heart was completely filled with money, successfully dissuading me. It was too soon. Anyway, I had money, I could take it slow. As time went on, I grew more accustomed to Daisy's company. I knew that in Daisy's heart, our relationship stopped at money. But I currently had no way to change this situation, so I usually tolerated it as much as possible. Until my cousin's due date was approaching, and she'd been feeling unwell frequently lately. Her WhatsApp message was just complaining that I hadn't visited her recently, asking if I'd forgotten she was still pregnant. But when Daisy thought it was the other woman and even offered to take care of her during her postpartum month, I completely lost it. I was furious and couldn't be bothered to explain to Daisy. If she wanted to take care of the baby, then she could go. Anyway, for her, it was the same whoever's baby she was taking care of. When I calmed down and wanted to go explain to Daisy, I ran into her talking face to face with Harry. In a fit of anger, I went home alone. The next day, although Daisy was still stubborn, her face was pale and her eyes were dark-ringed. While feeling sorry for her, I had a bold guess. Turns out Daisy liked me too. I don't even know when I started liking Daisy. Maybe it was when she called me babe without hesitation. Maybe it was when she diligently noted down my preferences. Maybe it was when she played along with my sarcasm to help me vent. Maybe it was when she blatantly showed her money-grubbing nature. Maybe it was when she not so smartly tricked me into signing a contract. Maybe it was when she was hiding everywhere wearing sunglasses. Scene after scene remained in my memory, eventually converging into her image. I know Daisy's secret. On my graduation day, I accidentally saw her notebook. On the flyleaf, there were 2 lines she had written by hand. May Daisy have a bright future. May Daisy and Harry be together, year after year.